Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Inshallah, we will be covering Surah Al-Lahab, the Surah 111. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد. The Surah Al-Lahab is, in brief introduction, is that there is complete unanimity of opinion among Muslim scholars and commentators that this surah was revealed at Mecca during the early years of the call. Noldijk and Muir also subscribe to this view. Some scholars, however, are of the opinion that the surah was the fifth to be revealed. The four surahs, Alaq, Qalam, Muzammil, and Mudathir, preceding it. The surah seems to deal with people having red faces and fiery tempers, hence its title. In Surah Al-Kawthar, the Holy Prophet ﷺ was given a twofold promise about the great and rapid increase of his following and about the failure of the mechanizations of his enemies against Islam. In the preceding Surah An-Nasr, reference was made to the first part of the promise. The present surah refers to its second part. This is from the commentary of Hazrat Muslim Maud, the 5-volume commentary. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful. Au nom d'Allah, le Gracieux, le Miséricordieux. Allah के नाम के साथ जो बे इंतहा रहम करने वाला, बिन मांगे देने वाला और बार बार रहम करने वाला है. The first Arabic word is bi. The translation is with, and en français au, Urdu में साथ. The next Arabic word is ism. This is translated in English as name, en français nom, and Urdu में naam. And Allah, it remains the same in all languages. Ar-Rahman, this is translated as gracious in English. En français, la traduction de Ar-Rahman est gracieux. Urdu में rahim karne wala. Ar-Rahim, this is translated as merciful. En français, le miséricordieux. Urdu में min mange dene wala. Bar bar rahim karne wala. Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, on commenting on the verse Bismillah, has said that the sum of this discourse is that our Prophet, the choicest of men, being the seal of the prophets and the purest of the pure and the most loved of all mankind by the extolled Lord, Allah the holiest, determined to unite in his person his two greatest attributes, and therefore he bestowed on him the names Muhammad, and Ahmed as reflections of Rahmaniyat and Ahmadiyat, Rahmaniyat and Rahimiyat. This indicated in the words he has taught us in the Fatiha, Thee alone do we worship and Thee alone do we implore for help, meaning thereby that only a perfectly obedient servant is granted the reflection of the attributes of the Lord of the worlds when his worship of him has altogether surpassed his own self. You are aware that the perfection and culmination of divine attributes is reached in his attributes of Rahman and Rahim. That is why these two attributes are comprised in Bismillah. Tabat yada abi lahabim matab. Perish the two hands of Abu Lahab, perish he. Que périssent les deux mains d'Abu Lahab et qu'il périsse lui-même. Abu Lahab ke dono hath halak hui, or wo bhi halak ho gaya. So here the first Arabic word in this ayat is tabat. The translation of it in English is perish. En français, périsse. Urdu mein halak hona. The next word is yada. This is two hands in English. En français, c'est deux mains. Urdu mein dono hath. And abi is abu. And lahab is the name we don't need to translate here. Is the name of Abu Lahab is remains the same, and the Arabic word wa is translated as and en français et, and Urdu में or. Tabba is translated in English as he perish. En français, il périsse. Urdu में halak ho gaya. In the commentary of Hazrat Muslim Maud Razila Ta'ala Anhu's 5-volume, he says that on commentating, the first is the important words. Yadan, which is two hands, is the dual form of yadda, which among other things means power, influence, assistance, help, protection, troops, host, army, possession, wealth. And the next word, tab, which means perish, it also means to suffer loss. He became lost, he perished, he died. Tabab and tabun are all infinitive nouns meaning loss, death, destruction, perdition. They say tabalaha, meaning may he perish, may perdition be his loss, his lot. And tabat yada also means he may he perish. And Abu Lahab, which is translated as a father of flame, is here was the nickname of Abul Uzza, the Holy Prophet's uncle and his inveterate enemy and persecutor. He was so called either because his complexion and hair were ruddy or because he had a fiery temper. The surah recalls an incident during the early preaching of the Holy Prophet ﷺ on being informed by God to call together his relatives and to deliver to them the divine message of the Holy Prophet ﷺ stood on Mount Safa and called the different Meccan tribes by name, the tribes of Labi, Murrah, Kilab, and Qusay, and his near relatives, and told them that he was God's messenger, and that if they did not accept his message and did not give up their evil ways, divine punishment would overtake them. The Holy Prophet ﷺ had hardly finished his speech when Abu Lahab stood up and said, "Ruin seize thee, it is for this that thou hast called us together." So in response to this, the surah most fittingly responded, instead of ruin seizing the Holy Prophet ﷺ, which was the desire and wish of Abu Lahab, instead Allah said that the ruin would seize the two hands of Abu Lahab. The father of flame may either refer to the Holy Prophet's uncle or any hot-tempered enemy of Islam, or better still, it may apply to the Western powers of the latter days who own and control atomic and nuclear weapons. One group of them repudiating God altogether, and the other denying his unity, but both being equally opposed to Islam. In this sense, the two hands would signify these two groups. The verse purports to say that all endeavors and mechanizations of the enemies of Islam, particularly of the two groups of Western powers and their satellites, would utterly fail, and all their nefarious designs would recoil on their own heads. They would burn with rage at seeing Islam progressing and their own wealth, power, and possessions perishing before their very eyes. ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب. His wealth and what he has earned shall avail him not. Sa richesse et ce qu'il a gagné ne lui serviront à rien. उसके कुछ काम ना आया उसका माल और जो कुछ उसने kamaya. So here the first Arabic word in this ayat is ma, which is translated in English as not, en français rien, and Urdu में na. And the next Arabic word is aghna. This word is, in English is avail. En français, le mot est profitier. Urdu में काम आना, फायदा उठाना. And then the next Arabic word is anhu. This is translated in English as from it. En français, de celui-ci. Urdu में उससे. And the last word, mal. This is wealth in English. En français, richesse. Urdu में mal. And then the next word in the next Arabic word in this ayat is hu, is translated as his in English, en français, sa, and Urdu में uska. And wa we covered already. And ma here is translated as what, quel, or jo. Quel en français, Urdu में jo. Kasaba is the last Arabic word in this ayat. It is translated in English as he earned. En français, il a gagné. Urdu में उसने kamaya. And the commentary of Hazrat Muslim Maud anhu reads that this verse appropriately may also apply to the wealthy Western powers who have great material resources at their disposal. The words his wealth may mean the wealth produced in their own countries, and what he has earned may signify the riches they have earned by exploiting weaker nations and despoiling them of their natural resources. Sayasla naran zat lahab. Soon shall he burn in a flaming fire. Bientôt il entrera dans un feu flambant. वो जरूर एक भड़कती हुई आग में दाखिल होगा. So the first Arabic word is sa, and this is translated as soon. En français, bientôt. Urdu में jald. And the next Arabic word is yasla. This is translated in English as he will enter. En français, il entrera dans. And Urdu में वो दाखिल होगा. And then the next word is naran. Naran is fire in English. Naran en français est fou. Urdu में आग. And zat is the next Arabic word. This is translated in English as having en français ayant, and Urdu में rakna. Lahab is here translated lahabin, like the word lahab, like Abu Lahab, is blazing, burning, as was translated or is meaning by the uncle's name, nickname, as the father of fire, because he of his nature. En français, flambant. Urdu में भड़कती हुई. So here there's a commentary for this ayat, and Hazrat Muslim says that the expression Abu Lahab may also mean one who invents something which produces fire and flames, or one who is himself consumed in the flames of fire. In this sense, the verse may be interpreted as predicting the destruction of the two major political blocs of the latter days by their own fire-producing weapons, such as atom bombs and other nuclear weapons. The verse also shows that the day of reckoning for these nations is not far off. It seems to have already arrived. So as we see these last 15 verses from the Holy Quran, or 14 verses from the Holy Quran, which predict the end phase of this world, or the latter days phase of this world, where many catastrophes will happen, or catastrophic things will happen. And we, when we read these commentaries, they're not just the predictions that are being made by the Khalifa alone, which have the backing of Allah, but are the words and saying of Allah, and they make us feel and realize that we should pray that may Allah protect and save the mankind from devastating destruction. We also have seen that in the past history, we may not ourselves have witnessed with ourselves, but we know that the two world wars that had passed with great destruction between these two powerful blocs, with the might and firepower, which did end with nuclear weapons being used, which cooled everything down for some time. We should pray that we do not face or we confront these horrible things, as is a prediction here in this surah. And our beloved Azur has always been reminding and always been guiding Ahmadis and the leaders of the world to means of protection against complete, total chaos and destruction, and is giving guidance to maintain a proper peace and stability in the world. We should continue to pray, especially when we cover these verses from the Holy Quran. They are not only verses and understanding of something that was written 1400 years ago, that we're talking of a predicted or a prophetic time, but we are seeing with our own eyes an era which was spoken of by the Holy Quran 1400 years ago. So may Allah protect us and make us understand. That's the reason why we have the classes, the Quran classes, so that we can not only just memorize and learn the memorization, but also that we learn the meanings of the words and understand what they are about, so that we can have a deeper connection to them, and so they may benefit us and our generation and those around us with our whether we are able to follow and we're able to give advice to the people around us, and also especially for prayers. Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, I'll continue this after in my next class.